Sure. My name is Veleke Brown, CEO and founder of eRoadmap Corporation. We focus on youth development here in West Palm Beach, Florida. And today I'm going to talk about social innovation as well as social entrepreneurship and how it ties to the nonprofit space.
What are your thoughts about compensation in the nonprofit world?
You know, there's a big challenge around compensation in the nonprofit space because we have this visceral reaction to our top CEOs generating income, but we don't have that same visceral reaction if it's someone in a for-profit space. For example, people think that if you're helping others, you should not generate a lot of money, but if you're not helping others, then it's okay. So if you're out there making a video game and you're earning $70 million and now we expect to see you on the cover of Wired magazine, that's great. But if a CEO of a nonprofit organization even strives to make $500,000, now their character is called into question, and that's a challenge.
So how does one make a profit from their passion? And tell us more about your journey.
So my journey started back in 2000. And it was just a very interesting ride for me. I was fresh out of college and I was living in DC, had a corner office, dressing up every day. And I really think at that time, I thought that I made it. And I was in a position where I was very impressionable, but something snapped for me one day. The same individuals that I looked at and I admired every day, who were 3 times my age, but they were coming in early and leaving out late. I thought that was exciting. But then one day I realized that they were really trading their dollars for time and they were missing out on some of the important moments of life. And I just wanted to do something different. So I was introduced to the direct selling industry again back in 2000, and it totally changed my life. Everything was around personal development. The people that I had an opportunity to work with, they spoke about themselves, they spoke about their family, they spoke about humanity, and these were things that were very important to them, and they were also important to me. So I stayed along that path for about 16 years, and it was amazing. And within 16 years, we built an international team of upwards of 50,000 distributors worldwide. We helped countless companies increase their revenue by $60 million, and it was a pleasure to be in a direct selling industry.
Wow, that is an amazing journey. Tell us, what was your second epiphany dealing with starting a nonprofit business this time versus a for-profit as before?
Yeah, I'm glad you said it like that, because the epiphany that I had the first time was that I realized I didn't want to work in corporate America until I was 65. And so that's when I started in the direct selling industry. And as I'm in the direct selling industry and I'm working with individuals to help them build their own businesses, and I'm reading these books and my mind is being changed, my second epiphany was, what if I could introduce these books and philosophies and concepts to youth? If only they could hear these philosophies, their lives would forever be changed. And that's what really prompted me to start in the nonprofit arena. So I wrote everything on paper. I literally had, back in the day, a typewriter. So I had 100 typed pages of what the name of the organization was going to be, the programs we were going to offer, how we're going to generate income, all of that. And but I actually didn't move forward with the nonprofit until 2013, when we formulated the board and received our 501c3 status. But I certainly put it on paper because I knew if my life could be changed because of philosophies and books, then I had to change the lives of youth.
So for the person listening that's just getting started, share with us some tips for them to get started.
Well, the interesting thing about the nonprofit space, if you're coming from the business arena, is you think that they are the same, but they are not. So I would strongly suggest that the first thing you do is create a business plan. And maybe you've done this before, but you need a business plan specific to the nonprofit space. The second thing I would do would be to just research and attend every function that you can to learn more about nonprofit. When I got started, I went to the library and asked questions, where can I go? And I went to every single class that they offered. I looked for classes online and found that The Junior League was offering classes about board governance, and I attended those as well. So you really want to attend any class that you can. The third thing is I would look in your community and identify any and all community partners and potential partners. There may be someone working in your space. Maybe you want to work with kids. Who's working with kids? Who's doing a great job? Maybe they're business owners in that local community that love to give back. Introduce yourself to them. Or stakeholders, these community leaders who want to see the kids grow and enhance themselves. So again, you want to make sure that you're connecting with the community partners. And the fourth thing is, I would say, start small. When you get in the nonprofit space, you always think, I'm going to bring in so much money through federal grants, but that may not happen in the beginning. You know, it's your local funders who are going to support you and help spread the word. And now you're building, in some respects, like a book of business in terms of the work that you're doing and some credibility. So start small.
So now that they are up and running, what are some of the ways that they can actually make a profit from a nonprofit space?
Well, that's very important because a lot of people shy away from the nonprofit space because they believe that it's actually nonprofit. But there are 4 great ways that you can generate income in the nonprofit space. And the first one would be to sell a product. I read a story of an organization there in the bike space, and what they did was they purchased bikes and they started to sell refurbished bikes along with parts to generate income for the nonprofit. Now, for our nonprofit, we decided to write educational books around entrepreneurship. So we have coloring books and we have books for older kids as well that we're able to sell to the community members and other organizations. So 1, sell products, okay? Number 2, you can license some technology or your intellectual property. One thing that we decided to do is we put our curriculums online and we digitize them. So now we're able to license them out to organizations to teach entrepreneurship our way. And so that does bring in some capital and some revenue for the nonprofit. 3, you can also choose to be a consultant, because if you're in the nonprofit space talking about what you're passionate about, then you certainly are a subject matter expert. So reach out to different people within your area and figure out what's happening around your space, and now you can facilitate some trainings. The 4th one is you can create what people like to call a social enterprise. You've heard the terminology an incubator. So you can start an incubator where the individuals are becoming educated, maybe like a workforce, and also pulling some type of income. For example, if you have a restaurant, you can certify the attendees to get certified in culinary arts. And while they're getting certified, they're actually getting paid as well. So think about those ways. There's another way in terms of renting space. If you just happen to have a large building donated to you, you can rent some of that space out as well.
That's great. So some really great tips that you share with us. So I know you are sharing a photo of some of your friends who have nonprofits as well, and that is fantastic, right? So how can viewers get more information about eRoadmap and any other ventures on the horizon?
Yeah, we'll certainly leave the information at the bottom about eRoadmap. And again, you know, one thing that I focus on with myself is youth development. So myself and a very good partner and a dear friend, Trina Sanders, we decided to launch Girl Boss Cookies, which is an educational platform for youth, and it's global, specifically for girls. So keep an eye out for that. And the picture that you mentioned means a lot to me, because when we talk about building a profit around your passion, that's what each person in that image did. So there's me, obviously, my friend Aston. She's a 2-time breast cancer survivor by the age of 31. So she built a foundation around breast cancer awareness, just to really educate people on it and what's out there. Then my other girlfriend, Dana spent so much time in the NICU. Her baby was in the NICU for 365 days. So she launched her nonprofit, Baby Buns for Life, to give back to the families that are sleeping in the NICU and also be a support to the babies in the NICU. And then my last girlfriend in the picture, Trina Sanders, She has her business called Creative Development because she is this creative genius, everything around technology. And she decided to launch her nonprofit to really work with the underserved youth to make sure they're prepared to compete in this world with the new technological advancements. So there are some people listening to this and watching this, and you have some friends who are just passionate about certain things. Don't be afraid. You all can get together and just impact the world. So stay tuned. We're going to leave the information at the bottom. I really appreciate everyone plugging in and hearing a little bit more about the nonprofit space and how to make a profit from your passion. So I'm Veleke Brown. Have a great day.